Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. حي على الصلاة. حي على الصلاة. حي على الفلاح. حي على الفلاح. الله أكبر، الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله.
إن الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا. Alhamdulillah, whenever we listen to the Jummah Khutbah, usually we hear the same things over and over. But do we ever really stop to think, what does it mean? There's a reason for everything. Everything that Allah does has a reason. When Allah created Muhammad ﷺ, He has a purpose for Muhammad ﷺ. And everything that Muhammad does is what? Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. And in today's world, we're seeing a lot of problems with people understanding or misunderstanding about the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. I didn't want to waste any time to go right to this subject because it is very dear and near to me. When somebody says they don't take Hadith, now depending on what they really mean by what they said, that could mean that they don't take anything from Islam at all. What is Hadith? In English, what is Hadith? This is a narration that's passed down from one person to another. Somebody heard from somebody else, and he wants to tell somebody else. Okay? I heard this, and I tell you this. Now, as children, we played a game. I don't know if you know this game. It's called telephone tag. So you get several children together, and you whisper something to one, and then he tries to remember exactly what it was, tell it to the next one, to the next one. And if you've got 10 or more, I guarantee you don't have any single word left from the original. Nothing. And that's all the same age children in the same place, the same scenario, everything is the same. How about something that's being passed down over 1,400 years? And how about something that, now think about this. These are not the same aged people, not even the same mentality maybe, not even the same cultures, the same traditions, no. And watch this, not even the same language. Today, only maybe roughly 10% of all the Muslims in the world are Arab, or even know the Arabic language. I mean, 90% don't know what we're talking about? Well, if you want to put it like that, yeah. If I say everything in the Arabic, don't worry about that. This ain't going to happen, okay? But if I did, how many of you would really understand it? Especially if you speak Fusha. Whoops. What I'm getting at is that when anything is passed down as a narration again and again and again, there is always the possibility, or actually likelihood, it's going to be corrupted. It's not going to be the same. This is one of the mu'ajizah of the Quran. The Quran cannot be corrupted. I'll give you one example out of many that happened to me. One time I gave the Shahada to an Arab. It wasn't Muslim. It was from the Coptic Christians, actually. Really nice guy. He traveled with us for a while, and he decided to accept Islam. And he did. One day I'm reciting something from the Quran. And he said, whoa, stop. That's not correct. I said, what? He said, yeah, it should be like this. And I thought about it. I said, yeah, that is how it was. How did you know? He said, in the Arabic language, that wouldn't work. That little connector that you put in, it doesn't sound right. It has to be this. SubhanAllah. And this is somebody, he didn't know the Quran. But Arabs know, and I'm saying all Arabs, they know their language. And when they hear the Quran, they know without an argument about it, they know that it's not like any other recitation on the planet. So, and everybody pretty much, I think we're going to agree that there's no way anybody can corrupt the Quran. No way. But what about the Hadith? And this is where Shaitan wants to come in the door and start corrupting through that. And he will say, what about this? What about that? What about... And now, for most of us, most of the Muslims in the world who don't really know Arabic, we're accepting translations. And it surprises me when I travel around the world, I find so many are accepting English translation when even their language is not English. So that means they're going to translate it again, at least in their mind, to their local language. And obviously that can be a problem. Translating is not the same thing as transmitting. Transmitting, like in a narration, these people are all speaking Arabic, hearing the Arabic, passing the Arabic forward. Now, this is also true for the Quran. When people are accepting the Quran in English, that's not the Quran anymore. It really isn't. Think about what I just said. Quran in English? How? I heard one brother give the argument in favor of we should all go on, in America, we should all go on the English Quran. Yeah, His argument was, well, Allah can do anything, so He could protect it, and it's the same in English as it is in Arabic. I guess he didn't read the part where it said that if you're in doubt about it, bring a book like it. That would be that. Duh. The point that I'm really trying to emphasize is, though, about the Hadith. Because there are those today who say we don't take Hadith at all. Zero. No Hadith. And I don't know who the we is, but they say it like that. We don't take Hadith. You know what's the problem with that? If you said you don't take any Hadith, what's the problem? فَإِنَّ إِسْتَقَ الْحَدِيثِ كِتَابُ اللَّهِ. The very best of Hadith is the Book of Allah. So if you say you don't take Hadith, what is a Hadith? We just said it's something that's been passed on. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave the recitation to Jibreel, the angel Gabriel. He then tells Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's already Hadith, yes or no? And then Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he can't write it down and hand it to somebody, especially in English, because they didn't even have English back then. So whatever he says to his companions, definitely Hadith. And then they pass it on, and they pass it on, and they pass it on. Along with it, there are examples that Prophet ﷺ is giving us about the Quran itself, so that we know what's called tafsir. And today, you find people who say they don't accept anything except the Quran itself. And even laugh or make fun of those who do respect the Hadith of the Prophet. Now, you know what's really interesting? Before I ever encountered any of those folks, I read a Hadith, translation to English, that said in the last days, or the last days won't come until these things occur. One of the things that was mentioned was that people would say that they don't take any Hadith. Oops. That's in a Hadith, telling us a prophecy that people would reject it and claim that they only follow the Quran. How can you follow the Quran if you don't take Hadith? Huh? Does Quran tell us in the very beginning, Surah Baqarah, very beginning, who are the ones who get guided? Well, first of all, we all want to be guided, yes or no? Of course, we're asking that how many times a day? Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim, Ihdina Sirat al-Mustaqim. Then, when you start in Baqarah, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألف لام ميم ذلك الكتاب لا ريب فيه هدى للمتقين. So this is the book that is going to give the Hidayah. That's what it says. Actually, it says that is the book. So to be technical, it doesn't say this, doesn't say Hada, it says Dalek. Anyway. So the Quran is what? What you just asked for. But it will only be, keep reading, it's only going to be the Hidayah or the Huda or the guidance for those who do what? They have to believe in al-ghaib. That's what it says. It's immediately following that. Believing in the unseen. You believe in Allah and you don't see Him. That's number one, right? How are you going to say you believe in Allah, but you don't really believe in anything unseen? Believe in the Jahannam and Jannah, hellfire and the paradise, and you don't see it. SubhanAllah. Then it goes on to tell us to establish the Salah. They established the Salah. These people established Salah. What is Salah? We've been brainwashed in the English language to think Salah is prayer. Is it really prayer? We came here for the Jummah prayer, right? Huh? You can pray anywhere, anytime, any place. That's called dua. Arabic to English, dua is prayer. What is salah? Go back to the root. Go back to the root. There's another word come from the same root that you use all the time if you know Arabic. Sila. Connection. This is connection. Connection. Imagine somebody standing out on a mountain somewhere, in the desert somewhere, on an island somewhere, and he's shouting and screaming and shouting and screaming and nobody can hear him. But he's saying all this stuff. No connection. Now imagine the same guy with a cell phone. Almost anywhere you go, you can make a connection. Sila. So you want Allah to hear and accept from you, yeah? So this is your connection to get your prayers answered. Simple as that. How would you know this? How would you understand this unless you understood the Arabic language? Because a lot of people are making dua, but is it going to get accepted? And by the way, Allah knows the one who's out in the desert or out in the forest or out on the mountain, whatever, shouting. But what you're trying to do is to show the sincerity and the effort that you're making to really communicate with your Lord. Let me put it another way. One of the reasons you see an increase in atheism is because people are fed up with man-made religions. And you'll hear them say that. Another man-made religion. I don't need that. I don't need that. Some of them, they'll still believe in God in general. I know there must be a God, but I don't know what to do about it. They're called agnostics. The problem, they don't know how to make a connection. And they sure don't want to sit in a church, a synagogue, or someplace where somebody's telling them how to think, how to walk, how to talk, and then find out later that the guy is just mumbo-jumbo. They don't want it. So, logically, if you believe in Allah, and you want to have a connection with Allah, how should it be? Now, this also is something that we deal with, you and I, as Muslims, on a daily basis. What do you want your relationship to be? Some converts that I've heard them say, I believe God is love. Well, we have Allah, dude. He's the loving. But, yeah, go ahead. And I just know Allah is love. Love. Okay. When you get all done with that, there's a real world out here, you know. Well, we have experiences of up, down, all around. Come on. The real world. SubhanAllah. In this of man-made religions, you can see people actually telling, essentially they're telling Allah, this is the religion I want, I make it up my way, and then you have to accept it. That's not going to work. Suppose you want to do salah 3 times a day. That's enough. Yeah. Why not? Why 5? Does it say anywhere in the Quran, now I'm back to my subject, in the Quran, does it say 5 times a day, salawat al-khams? Show me the page. Show me the ayah. Show me the surah where it says this. Doesn't say that. It does tell us in the Quran to go to Jummah. It does say that. To drop off all the business and head for Jummah. But even that doesn't exactly define what we know to be the Jummah Salah. Is it supposed to be that the Imam gives like a little bit of Khutbah and then sits down and then stands back up? Is it? Where's that in the Quran? Huh? The Adhan is not in the Quran, is it? Where is that? So this is where the problem comes when you say you're not going to take Hadith. And speaking of sitting down, I'll take that opportunity right now. Make dua. Make some serious dua right now for all of us and our brothers and sisters who really don't get it. Inshallah. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, wa salatu wa salam. فإن استقل الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار. What we're talking about is a very, very serious subject, because if anybody distorts Islam, distorts the Quran, distorts Hadith, eliminates an ayah, even one ayah of the Quran. This is a very serious, serious thing. Not only for them, but for everybody who follows them. Now, I think this was about 40 years ago, 30 or 40 years ago, before I came to Islam, that this individual started it here in this country, in St. Louis, Missouri, and then it spread. But he had an idea about the number 19 in the Quran, and this number is a miraculous number, and every 19th ayah, and every 19th surah, every 19th word, every 19th letter, blah, 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 blah. And he had it all worked out. And he spent a lot of time with this, playing with these numbers, and he said, because he has a computer, back in those days, a computer wouldn't even be equal to what my phone can do, you know. But he came up with this idea. And even then, he had to eliminate, like a standing aleph, he wouldn't count it if he didn't need it. Or he would count it if he does need it to make his 19. And when the ya is equal to an aleph, maybe he's going to count it, maybe not. So, if you know what I'm talking about, that means he didn't really come up with 19 all the way through it anyway. Even then, it didn't work. And what he said was, well, the last two ayahs in one of the surahs, if we pull them out, then my numbers work. So evidently this was added. Evidently, you make a conclusion after 1400 years that you're just going to pull something out or put something in? Wow. Yeah. Guess which surah of all the surahs in the Quran, which one you think he pulled the two ayahs from? The last two ayahs. Surah Tawbah. The only surah that has no basmala on it. Whoa! No Rahman Rahim for this guy. Allahu Alam. I'm just making an observation. That's scary. And he published it. He put this out, a translation to English. He put it out without those two ayahs and told people, don't accept that. Now, you know what happens immediately? you've affected the salat, because it doesn't become mandatory to come to to do your salat properly. It's not. Because if you don't have the hadith, if you don't have the instruction, the tafsir of the Quran, what do you have? People's interpretations. And that's exactly what they did. This is a very serious thing. Because that's not far from leaving Islam altogether. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Now, I'll leave it open for you to do some research, find out more about this subject. What we can do about this. Number one, if you don't already have it established in your house, establish every single morning after Salat al-Fajr some time for your family to sit together and go over the Quran in Arabic. And then some more time to go over Hadith. If you don't have Al-Arba'in, the 40 Hadith, get that book. Start with that. Riyad al-Salihin, if you want to get something a little bit bigger, go into that. If you don't have the Arabic language, don't worry about that. Don't worry about that just yet. Let's work on convincing ourselves that this really is part and parcel of Islam. But do get some form of instruction for Arabic language so that you can understand at least. Maybe you won't be able to speak it perfectly. I don't. But at least you'll understand it. This is critical for your family. This is critical for you on the Day of Judgment. Seriously. Now, there are many opportunities for us to show people the truth about Islam, really. When it comes to history, there are a lot of things that the West has kind of confused. Let's leave it at that. But the real history is an amazing thing. There's also things related to science, space travel from the Quran and Hadith. There are things that are related to natural, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, where the two waters come together that never, this is in Surah Al-Rahman. They don't ever just blend. This is one thing. But what about the medicine? Today, right now, everybody's worried about one thing, for sure. Coronavirus. Is that right? They're all worried about that. Is there anything in Islam about that? Is there anything in Islam about the coronavirus? Actually, there's a hadith telling us, and it's a shame that somebody don't want to take hadith because it's got the answer for them right there. There is a hadith. It's coming from the Prophet ﷺ. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-abrasi wal jununi wal juthami wa min sayyi'il asqam. The translation said, "Oh Allah, we seek refuge in you from skin diseases, insanity," oh, I need that one, leprosy, and all major illnesses. Beautiful dua. And I think, brothers, sisters, this is a very relative thing for us because of all the people on the planet today, who are the most susceptible to a communicable disease? Who? Muslims. I heard yesterday some ladies telling her children, wash your hands, go wash your hands again. You never know. And I know what she meant. She meant wash your hands because of spreading a disease. Somebody started sneezing in an airplane yesterday, and everybody was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. You want to be far away from this guy sneezing. Think about it. And subhanAllah, when you see the effect that just the mention of the communicable disease has on people. Now, I don't know how many people you greeted when you walked in the door, but when you walk out, are you going to be like, hey, yeah, it's good to see you, man. Hey, oh, no, I got to go right now. Huh? Are you going to be like that? Because if I shake hands with you, I don't know how many other guys you shook hands with, and we don't know who they shook hands with, and God forbid that you want to hug somebody. Oh, that's it. But that's what Muslims do. If anybody wants to get rid of the Muslim population, that's a cool way to do it, from their point of view. May Allah save us from that. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep us away from all this fitna. Allah protect us. And finally, there is one other thing. Suppose we did all get a disease from that. Suppose. Is there anything in Islam that we know about that? Prophet ﷺ said that, now this is conditional on maintaining your belief through the experience. But anybody who falls a long way and dies, anybody who dies in childbirth, that's a woman, of course. Anybody who gets burned up in a fire, or anybody who is dying of a big disease, they will be with the shuhada, the people who are martyrs. That's Hadith. Oh, you don't take Hadith. I forgot about that. I'm going to go ahead and accept that. Not just because of the disease being spread, but just because I love our Prophet ﷺ, and I really believe, Ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Allah make us all of the true believers. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of those people who repent to Him and to Him alone. Ameen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us of the committed people to His Quran, to His book, to His deen, to His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Allah make us of those people who remain steadfast on deen. Ameen. Ameen. Ya Rabb. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا لجميع المسلمين يقم الصلاة. I'm going to ask the Imam if he would please lead the Salah for us, because I want to hear good Arabic. Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. يا أيها المدثر قم فأنذر وربك فكبر وثيابك فطهر والرجز فاهجر ولا تمنن تستكثر ولربك فاصبر فإذا نقر في الناقور فذلك يومئذ يوم عسير على الكافرين غير يسير ذرني ومن خلقت وحيدا وجعلت له مالا ممدودا وبنين شهودا ومهدت له تمهيدا ثم يطمع أن أزيد كلا إنه كان لآياتنا عنيدا سأرهقه صعودا إنه فكر وقدر فقتل كيف قدر ثم قتل كيف قدر ثم نظر ثم عبس وبسر ثم أدبر واستكبر فقال إن هذا إلا سحر يؤثر إن هذا إلا قول البشر سأصليه سقر وما أدراك ما سقر لا تبقي ولا تذر لواحة للبشر عليها 19 وما جعلنا أصحاب النار إلا ملائكة وما جعلنا عدتهم إلا فتنة للذين كفروا ليستيقن الذين أوتوا الكتاب ويزداد الذين آمنوا إيمانا ولا يرتاب الذين أوتوا الكتاب والمؤمنون وليقول الذين في قلوبهم مرض والكافرون ماذا أراد الله بهذا مثلا كذلك يضل الله من يشاء ويهدي من يشاء يشاء وما يعلم جنود ربك إلا هو وما هي إلا ذكرى للبشر كلا والقمر والليل إذ أدبر والصبح إذا أسفر إنها لإحدى الكبر نذيرا للبشر لمن شاء منكم أن يتقدم أو يتأخر. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. كل نفس بما كسبت رهينة إلا أصحاب اليمين في جنات يتساءلون عن المجرمين ما سلككم في سقر قالوا لم نك من المصلين ولم نك نطعم المسكين وكنا نخوض مع الخائضين وكنا نكذب بيوم الدين حتى أتانا اليقين فما تنفعهم شفاعة الشافعين فما لهم عن التذكرة معرضين كأنهم حمر مستنفرة فرت من قسورة بل يريد كل امرئ منهم أن يؤتى صحفا منشرة كلا بل لا يخافون الآخرة كلا إنه تذكرة فمن شاء ذكره وما يذكرون إلا أن يشاء الله هو أهل التقوى وأهل المغفرة. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Before the announcement, just I will thank our guest, our Sheikh, the Sheikh Yusuf Estes. I know him for a long time. I attended Hajj with him before 10 years ago.
We're not worried about the climate.
God bless you. يعني النبي عليه الصلاة والسلام يقول إن الله ينشر هذا الدين بعز عزيز. لقد كان عزيزا قبل إسلامه وهو الآن عزيز بإسلامه. Before his Islam, he was Aziz. And after his Islam, he is Aziz too. أسأل الله تبارك وتعالى أن يبارك فيه وأن يجمع شمل المسلمين في كل الأماكن في أمريكا على إن شاء الله. ربنا يبارك فيه. جزاك الله. You have some?
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. In the Khutbah Jummah that we just had, I talked about a subject that is very near and dear to me. I hope that all of us realize the importance of Hadith and the importance of knowing the people of the Muhaddith, the ones who are the studiers of this, and really we got to give a lot of respect to these people because they're doing so much for that. Alhamdulillah. Now, if anybody would like to do this one thing, pull out your cell phone right now. I want to tell you how you can join us, or you can get our newsletter we send out, and also be in contact with us. If you have somebody in your family or somebody you know you'd like to get some help for them, then they're a good way to contact us, and then we can help you find local folks here as well that can help out. And that is real simple. You send me a text message right now, the computer will send you back a link, and then you can click it, and it will tell you how to be in touch with us. And also support the channel that we're doing. We have a television channel broadcasting 24 hours a day all over the United States and Canada, and that channel is called Guide Us TV. And when you come out here to the table, I have some of the boxes that you can see that you can get our channel and 49 other channels that are really good for your family. You can throw away the cable and the satellite and all that with this beautiful little box. Anyway, the phone number is 41444. 41444. Don't call it to talk to it because it's just a text number. And the word you send is Islam, I-S-L-A-M. Send that to 41444. And then whenever you get this link back, click it, and you'll be able to join in with us. And of course, if we can do anything to help, we want to do that. We have some programs. We're going to be with Mercy Without Limits. We're going to be with them tonight in
MIC.
MIC?
The brother has
Oh, you have all of that. All right. So come and join us tonight, tomorrow, and Sunday, and then we got to go back. So please come and be with us again, inshallah.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, Sheikh Yusuf Estes will be here in Memphis until Sunday. Tonight his schedule will be at MIC after Isha, that's at 8 p.m. Tomorrow he will be here. Tomorrow there will be open house here starting at 10 o'clock until 3 p.m. So Yusuf Estes will be joining us for his session starting after Zuhr, 12:30 p.m. Inshallah. If you need some invitation card, we still have it. You can stop by at the office and pick up some invitation card. Tomorrow, Shaykh Yusuf Estes will have a program here after Isha, 7:30 p.m. And Sunday, his program will be at Masjid An-Nur after Maghrib at 7 p.m. All the programs are sponsored by Mercy Without Limits. Jazakumullah khair. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.